436-1212 is the phone number for you to call if you have a legal question for attorney Charlie O'Hara this Wednesday morning at 8:30. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning.
Appreciate you coming as always.
Great to be here on a nice windy day.
I know, nice and windy. All right, let's get to the phone. We have some callers waiting to ask you some questions, Charlie. Thanks for watching Eyewitness News. What's your question this morning?
Yeah, my sister stole my identity 3 years ago. Got a federal felony, and they stuck it to me instead of her. I've tried doing like 3 different backgrounds so I could work with kids, and they have denied me because of the federal felony. What do I do?
Well, I mean, there's actually some simple ways to get that straightened out. If someone's convicted of a felony, they've got to have their fingerprints. And when they have their fingerprints, they have pictures of them and other things. And I think in a lot of those cases, they'll even have DNA on a federal felony like that. So you need to get a hold of the appropriate authorities, which I would think would be the United States Attorney's Office, or you can hire your own attorney and go down there and explain the situation to them. I mean, having a felony on your record because your sister used your ID is a terrible situation, but it can be straightened out. And obviously your sister, if that's true, has committed more felonies because she's defrauded the court, she's told people she was you, she's done identity theft, she's done all sorts of things, and it's not going to be very good for her either. But I would get that straightened out, and I would get to work on that quickly.
So what you're saying is it looks like she might be able to get that cleared up.
Well, she's got to be able to get it cleared up. I mean, fingerprints and DNA will clear that up real quickly, along with a picture.
There are some ways to prove that it was not her.
That's correct.
All right, good question. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it. And back to the phones. We have another caller on the line. Good morning to you. What's your question for Charlie?
Yeah, I'm 62 years old, and my grandson was on the computer the other day, and he says, "Grandma, there's a warrant on you." And I said, "What?" And it was another state, and the warrant was 18 years ago, and it was a DUI, and I was allowed to go in one club because my boyfriend owned it. Well, I went in another club, and I'm sure that's what it's about. How do I get rid of that, or is it time elapsed where I don't have to be arrested?
Well, the way the law works, if you get a warrant in one state and you leave that state, that stops, that tolls that running of that warrant. So you need to go back and get it taken care of. There are circumstances if you lived in the other state for a long time and they didn't serve it quickly enough that maybe it'll get dismissed. But with the DUI pending in another state and a warrant, you're going to get picked up at some time and taken into custody and be held till maybe you go back to that state. So what I would recommend is getting a hold of an attorney in that state, probably in the city that you're in, and have the attorney check into that. You may have to go back to that state to take care of that warrant, but you better get something done because at your age you don't want to be sitting in jail for a week or two trying to get that matter straightened out.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter that she's actually moved from that state. It's still out there.
Well, there's a whole bunch of things that could matter, but the problem is you're going to have to get an attorney to represent you to get into whether or not they actually control.
Wow.
It's possible that they can still prosecute you if they have the witnesses and everything else. So.
Good thing her grandson was on the computer.
That's true.
All right, I think we have another caller on the line. Good morning. What's your question? Hi, you're watching Eyewitness News. You have a question?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
My house is under full foreclosure, and they have set a sale date. How long do I have before I have to move?
Well, I can't tell you that off the top of my head, and it depends on certain circumstances. You're going to have to check with the people involved in that to know for sure. You do have a time to pay the loan back off, and in certain circumstances, because in today's society, some of those foreclosures were not done correctly, there's been real long delays. I mean, some of the delays have been probably up to 12 months at times. But I think they've got most of that straightened out, so it's probably relatively quick, probably within 120 to 90 days.
All right, thanks for all of your questions. Make sure to call us back next Wednesday if you didn't get in today for Charlie. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
Have a good one.